Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Rally Podcast. I'm Mike White here with Tommy Adesso of Rocky Mountain Roundnet. We are in the van, back in the van, have the door open in front of us this time so I won't be as sweaty as I was last time. Tommy, where are we right now?
We are in Nashville, I believe,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
We actually were in South Dakota last night, and in order to make it to Nashville by today, I drove until from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Tommy drove till like 6:30 a.m. because he's kind of crazy. We napped for a little bit, and then hit back on the road, and finally got to Nashville about 3. So we're hanging out here, having a good time.
Yeah, man, got a beautiful view of some flowers and a brick wall in front of us. So yeah, man, we're living the life.
Chick-fil-A parking lot.
Yeah.
Loving it. So, Tommy, I said you are of Rocky Mountain Roundnet, but you're also the founder and the organizer. So, brief overview, what is Rocky Mountain Roundnet?
Rocky Mountain Roundnet is a group of us, about probably 25 people who are pretty dedicated to helping the sport of roundnet grow in Colorado. Yeah, man, we just love playing some roundnet, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
So, we talked about this last night, so I know, but can you tell the people how you found out about spike ball and roundnet?
So it was basically me and my cousin Mike Egan. After not really talking too much over the course of like 10 years or so, he went north for school, went to a state school in New York. I went down south to Towson. After not really, talking to each other much for, probably over the course of like 10 years, we just so happened to move to Colorado 4 days apart, about a mile and a half away from each other.
By chance.
By chance, completely random, and he introduced me to spike ball. I fell in love pretty shortly after, and fast forward, 5 or 6 years now, we've been running at least 2 to 6 tournaments a year. We now do spring and summer league. We've been doing that for like 3 years, working with Denver Parks and Rec to kind of get the beginner intermediate division going, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
When did you host your first tournament?
It was probably the Mile High Classic, which would be August of 2013.
Hey,
So,
was Mile High Classic coming up on its 6th year?
yep.
A little bit, so it was after Summer Spike.
A
But
little
it's- but
after
it's
Summer
as long
Spike.
as
I
Summer
had no
Spike.
idea what Summer Spike was
Yeah.
when it first came out, but yeah, so us and Summer Spike, I guess, are
Yeah,
the
6 years.
longest.
Are you hoping Summer Spike gets canceled so you're just the longest?
No. I love Summer Spike because that's my excuse to go home
Yeah.
and see some family and
Yeah.
play some roundnet in New York. So I love it.
So, why did you decide to host a tournament?
We just thought that was the easiest way to kind of grow the sport. I mean, we were pretty surprised. We had, I think our first tournament was a free tournament, and I think we ended up getting like 35 teams or something like that. So once
35 teams?
Yeah, something like
Your
that,
first
yeah.
tournament?
Yeah, so we were extremely surprised. But we just obviously saw that if first tournament after not really knowing too much about roundnet, getting 35 teams,
Fine.
we figured that
It's crazy.
Denver was a pretty awesome place
Pretty good
to
spot.
to kind of try and grow the sport. I mean, it's a very active, outdoorsy kind of area, so we just figured it was kind of a no-brainer.
When did you? So now you have Rocky Mountain Roundnet, which is like an organized thing.
Yeah.
When did you make it more of an organized and not just you hosting a tournament?
I would probably say when we started the Rocky Mountain Roundnet Club, which I think was like 2015.
When all the clubs were forming?
When all the clubs were forming. I think that's when it really became like a real thing. And then I was talking about it for a while, but I think last year I finally legitimized it as an actual LLC. So
okay.
now I actually, can do some cool write-offs.
Are you the only? Are you the only Roundnet LLC? I don't know of any others.
I do not know. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So then right now you said you have a bunch of tournaments, 2 to 6 a year, and it's actually a tour series.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
So basically, people in Colorado don't really tend to drive to or fly to too many tournaments outside of Colorado. So I just thought it would kind of be cool to kind of piggyback off the spike ball, tour series. And last year was, I think, our first time. We did 4 tour stops. This year we're doing 6. We did Boulder in January. April was in Denver. May was up in Fort Collins. July, we're part of the Rocky Mountain State Games for the second year, which is like a multi-week, sports festival.
Is that an open tournament or is that part of the state games?
It's part of the state games, but you don't. I mean, it's just, the state games. kind of blanking right now. We could edit this out, right?
What?
Yeah, so it's just part of our tour series as
Yeah.
well as just their state games. Yeah, we got, I think, 33 teams last year, which they were super happy with. I kind of was shooting for a little more, but
Yeah.
they said for a first-time sport, 33 teams is pretty awesome. So we did it again. They loved it. And then we're also doing a tournament in Golden, which is going to be like a memorial fundraiser tournament for a fallen firefighter who we actually, when we did the Spike Van in Denver, met 12 firefighters who came out, and they were kind of just telling us about one of their brothers who unfortunately passed, and he was a big spike ball fan, so we thought it'd be a great idea to do a memorial tournament fundraiser. Talked to Spike Ball Chris, and he was kind enough to pretty much match whatever we raised for him and all that kind of stuff, so I'm really looking forward to that one. That should be a fun one.
Nice.
And then, in September will be the 6th annual Mile High Classic.
So is the Mile High Classic the championship, or how do you crown a team?
Yeah, so that's going to be the Grand Slam, but this year we're doing it a little different. Last year we did top 4 teams, got, the Rocky Mountain Roundnet custom, sublimated jerseys from Savage. This year we're doing it more individual based, so you get rewarded for playing with other partners, so it kind of switches things up a lot. And this year we're crowning the top 5 individual players. So I think that's kind of cool. I'd like to see if Spike Ball can kind of start doing individual rankings. I know it's been talked about a lot, especially since there are so many mashup teams and not everybody has the luxury of traveling across the country to play in these tournaments. So could be kind of cool if that was the case. But I'm definitely, it's exciting playing with new partners. Like it definitely makes this thing up a lot.
Do you have to play with a new partner every time, or is it just kind of better to do?
No, so basically we give you 65 extra points. We kind of use the same system that the Spike Ball Tour stops have. So we basically just you get 65 extra points per tournament that you play with another partner. So it really does encourage. So basically, if you played with the same partner every single tournament, you'd have X amount of points. And I wanted to make sure that if, say, I was to get second place and at every tournament and play with a new partner by the Grand Slam, we're tied up, and then it kind of encourages people to just play with new people.
Yeah, that's also a good thing, because I know not a lot of teams will do that, but maybe if their partner can't go, they won't even think about going.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I might actually even get some extra points. So is that your Rocky Mountain Roundnet Elite?
Yes.
Is that what they are?
Yep.
So okay.
Yep.
So you call it the Elite.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you have the tournament series. You also ran a league.
Yeah, so this is our 3rd year doing leagues. We just finished up our spring league the end of May. Now our summer league starts, I believe, the beginning of July. Yep. We also partnered up with Denver Parks and Rec, so they're running the beginner intermediate league while I'm running the advanced league. We're running on the same field, so we got a free permit through Denver Parks and Rec. Denver Parks and Rec comes out and sprays serving circles every week.
Really?
So it's
that's pretty legit.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. They've been super accommodating to us and all that kind of stuff. So it's
Do they not like their grass?
They have some pretty nice fields, and we play at a pretty active field. So I mean the grass is decent.
Okay.
I mean it's you definitely got to watch out for little bumps and sprinklers and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, they made sure that they put the circles in the right spots, so we're not really worried too much about it.
How does the league run?
Basically we do a 7-week league with a 2-week playoff.
Okay.
So this year we had 12 teams. So obviously we didn't play every team in the league, but after the 7 weeks we make a bracket, and then the first I guess it would be the 8th week would be the first 2 rounds of the bracket, and then the 9th week is the final 2 rounds with the 3rd place game as well. So
I saw that online that you just had the bracket, and I was wondering if just like so something you could do. I know this is not how you did do it. Well, so I'll talk about a different format after. Is I was thinking that maybe you just drew up a bracket, and you just like over the course of the year just like played like a best of 7 for the bracket, and then I realized that if they went 0-2 in bracket, they'd be out of the league in 2 weeks, so that didn't work. But I know Golden Gate, they just do a regular season where they play everyone, and then they do, I think, a tournament based off the seeding.
Yeah.
So that's a little different than you do. So you do start the bracket based off the seeding, but it's not a one-day tournament. It's a
So basically we just keep everything on Tuesdays just to make it convenient for everybody. We've been doing Tuesday night Spike for probably the past 5 or 6 years now. So, it's been super consistent. Everybody knows that Tuesdays for Spike Ball.
Tuesdays is nice.
And, they try and get off work as early as they can so we can come out and start playing pickup runs from like 4 to sunset, and then league play runs from 6 to 7. So we always have pickup going on,
Right.
and then 6 or 7 we got the league play, and then whenever we're done,
Yeah.
we go back to pickup. We do a best of 5 series. This way everybody gets a good amount of games and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Do you have tips for people that are trying to? So let's start with this. For people that just want to create a consistent pickup group, how have you gone about that in your years?
Honestly, it's just staying with the same day. I don't just like we've done Tuesdays for the past 5 years. Don't
That's
do,
it.
Yeah, don't do Tuesdays one year, Wednesdays one year. Just definitely just try and keep the consistency. That helps a lot because I know a lot of people will end up going to school in the fall and all that kind of stuff, and at least they know as soon as they get back they got Tuesday
Nice.
pickup and all that. So yeah, I would just say just stay consistent. And also just trying to work with your local, Parks and Rec department. We've been super fortunate, and when I originally heard that they wanted to do a spike ball league, I reached out to them, telling them that I have a little background and
Right.
kind of know what I'm doing when it comes to the leagues and everything. So they were super receptive about that, and yeah, I just say talk to your Parks and Rec department, and if anybody ever needs any help, feel free to shoot me an email at RockyMountainRoundnet@gmail.com, and I will do whatever I can to kind of help you guys out, and I'll give you my league format, my sheets, how I keep track of everything. So yeah, if anybody ever needs anything, feel free to hit me up.
And then so once you did that, you established the night. The league is just an easy extension of it.
Yeah.
Like that just makes it super easy.
Yeah.
You don't have to organize like, all right, we're gonna do league this night because you always spike that night. I think that's how Golden Gate did it too. They would always spike on Wednesdays, and they just like made a league out of it.
Yeah.
So once you have that schedule, and also the making it 6 to 7, because like I remember also last night at pickup in Sioux Falls, right? Schedule said 6:30, but people were still rolling in at 7:15.
Yeah.
So you can't just have it be a 3-hour league.
Yeah.
People, you got to give them some accommodation.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And as far as running terms, do you run all of them, or do you have people in different areas that kind of help you run them?
My club has been super awesome about helping me out in any way, shape, or form. For some of the markets that I'm not too familiar with, like up in Fort Collins, we had one of our club members who lives up there pick out a field for a tournament and all that kind of stuff, and worry about the permits. And I pretty much just said, okay, here's my card. Talk to somebody, and make it happen. Secure the permit. Try and get some sponsors up there, since I wasn't really too sure exactly what the scene was like up there. So he was able to get a couple like gift cards from a local restaurant to give away and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, everybody in the Rocky Mountain Roundnet Club has been super helpful with helping me make Denver a nice little area to play some spike ball in, or Colorado for that fact.
Colorado. So, well, actually, a quick sidetrack. You talked about sponsorships. I want to talk about the prize that you had for the Mile High Classic. Like a couple. Was it 2 years ago or just last year?
I think it was 2 years
2 years
ago.
ago.
I think it was Buddy and Devin came out and they won. They have still not used it yet, so I'm giving you right now an official. You guys
Do
have
they
like,
have to use it?
I mean, they don't have to, but I mean, technically, it's not paid for until they use it.
Okay.
So I kind of just have $250, $300 just floating around
Yeah.
that might be used at some general point. So
Yeah.
you guys have until, let's see.
So what is it? Tell the people though.
All right, so basically, I was stupid and got duped into buying a vacation package. So, so basically, I'm paying like $30 a month until I use all 10 of my vacations, and I've been doing this for probably 6 years now. So, and I've only used like 2 vacations. So, so I'm just trying to use these vacations up so I can stop paying this $30 a month, or I just wasted like $6,000 on a vacation package. So, yeah. So you guys got until April of next year to use your vacation, Buddy and Devin.
Will it be a prize going forward? You have a bunch of vacations.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say I'd like to try and get people out there without necessarily luring them with
with a week-long
$300
vacation.
vacations and all that kind of stuff. But this year I think I'm going to do it again. I guess we're talking about it now, so I kind of have to do it. So
you don't have to do anything.
No, I know. But yeah, so this year we will be giving away a 7-day vacation for the winner of the Mile High Classic. Hopefully, saying that on here gets a lot more teams out there. I know sometimes the Denver crew can be a little upset when we have a whole bunch of premier players coming out there, because it's like, all right, yeah, we'd like for a Denver team to win the Mile High Classic, and I don't think that's happened since 2014. We had back-to-back winners, Dakota and Taylor Nam. I think they go by the Phenoms. They won the first 2 years in a row, and I think every year after that, it's been won by an out-of-state team. So that just kind of gives us a little more motivation
Yeah,
to try and get better and do and win one. But yeah, I always obviously encourage as many teams as possible to come out. I'd like for this classic to be our best one yet, and yeah, hopefully we can get around 60 teams or so. I'd be pretty happy with that.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
And then so staying with that, the sponsorships. So you have gotten a lot of sponsors for your tournaments. Do you have just a brute force tactic, or do you really try to like? So maybe I was trying to say, like, do you just reach out to a bunch of people, or do you really focus on a few companies and just really hope that they?
Well, we've worked with a bunch of companies over the years, and obviously we have a couple that are pretty reoccurring and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, honestly, my whole thing is, what's the worst they could say? No. So I just kind of shoot for the stars as far as that goes, and I mean, if they say no, then no, nothing changes.
Yeah,
if they say yes, then obviously awesome, we get awesome sponsors. I usually start with things that I personally would like to win. So, like free massages, cryotherapy sessions, all that kind of stuff. So anything that I think would kind of just help the body recover. I've also done some, THC and CBD infused gift packages.
It's Colorado.
It's Colorado, so it's obviously legal, so I'm not doing anything wrong. But yeah, I just kind of just shoot for the stars, and like I said, the worst that they could say is no, and the answer is always no to 100% of the questions you don't ask. So
that's pretty. Unless they like tell you and then they come and take you, they're like no, and also we're taking all of your money.
Well, I don't have too much money, so they're not going to get too far.
So right now you have the leagues, you have the tournaments. How do you see it growing in the future in Colorado?
Honestly, just keep it the grind. I mean, I'd say if we could do anywhere from 4 to 6 tournaments a year and just continue with the spring and summer league, I think that'd be awesome. I think that'd really help. I would like to eventually get a fall winter league going, but I know once the weather kind of shifts in Colorado, everybody goes indoors for like the indoor courts and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely hard.
Tough it out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 100% down, but it also comes down to daylight, obviously. So that's the biggest thing. But I'd love to get a fall winter league going, but it's just going to be trying to find a place that can accommodate that and do it at a reasonable price, because I know a lot of the indoor time is pretty expensive. I mean, I thought about possibly, instead of doing a best of 5 series, just do an hour long and actually kind of do it like periods in hockey or quarters in football or basketball or something like that. You just play for 10-12 minutes, and whatever the score is at the end, that's the score. Then that's the way we can kind of just at least fit it in the allotted time slot. So
do you guys play in the winter?
We do, yeah. We usually move to the tennis courts.
Tennis courts.
Yeah, because we got there's a lot of tennis courts a little south of us that have lights and everything that we can just turn on ourselves. So we usually just get there and just turn the lights on, and we won't play as long, obviously, as the summer, but yeah, we'll try and get out there for at least an hour and a half, 2 hours or so. So we pretty much play year round, and it's always fun to play in snow too. I try and get out there and play in snow as much as possible.
So there are actually some rumors that you have some talent joining you in Colorado soon. Have you heard about that?
I have definitely heard about that. I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes up or anything, but it would be pretty cool if the 3 people who were supposed to come out here came out here.
Yeah.
And that would definitely help. I think Rocky Mountain Roundnet kind of take it to the next level, so we can start making a little more of a name for ourselves.
Yeah. So I actually don't even know a third you're referencing, but I know 2 that are coming. So I think Skylar Bowles and Cody Thompson are thinking about it. And who's the third?
I have heard rumors of a possible Sean Boyer.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, I'm not 100% sure on that. I think the Cody Skylar thing may be a little more concrete.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've heard rumors of Sean. So Sean, come out here, man. We need you.
We didn't have him on the podcast today just so he has to listen to this and get called out. I probably should reach out to them and say, hey, do you want everyone to know that you might be moving to Colorado?
Yeah, that's why I was saying people and not mentioning names, but you kind of brought it up, so I figured, all right, okay. You're the one who said it. So
hey, if you see this, they don't want their names said, and we edited it out. We edited out their names. But also, those 3 would stay West players, so that's an incentive for them, because I don't think they ever want to leave the West.
Yeah.
They can still do that.
And from what I've heard, they'd be moving a little more up north. So I mean, it kind of make the Denver guys travel a little bit. But I mean, we've been pretty fortunate. We have people driving down from Fort Collins every Tuesday, which is like over an hour hike and all that kind of stuff. Driving up from Castle Rock, which is like a 45-minute hike. So I mean, everybody is pretty awesome about driving down to Denver to play. So I mean, I guess we could, make our way up north just to kind of as a thank you for, coming down
Meet
to Denver for the
halfway.
pass. Yeah, exactly.
Find something. Have
Exactly.
you do other places, other cities have weekly pickups, or is Denver like the only one? Like in Fort Collins, do they also do pickup on Thursday nights? Do you know?
I'm not too sure. I know Jordan Davis. He usually kind of takes care of all the Fort Collins stuff. So I'd imagine they play maybe once a week or something like that up there. But Tuesdays are usually the days that everybody comes down to Denver. So I'm not really too sure. I know I'm going to try and kind of piggyback off of Logan's taser thing and try and do the hubs in Colorado. I think that's a great direction for the sport to go. So I think that definitely would help kind of us grow. I know our the Roundnet presence in the Littleton Centennial area, which is a little south of Denver, is starting to grow, and Andrew Lassou has been kind of really helping that grow down there, and he's probably arguably the best player in Colorado. So arguably. But yeah, he's been doing awesome things for just getting nets into people's hands and teaching people how to play and all that kind of stuff. So he does some awesome stuff where he is. So
that's the question I have. So the people that play in your league and come to pick up, are they have they heard us? Do you find yourself teaching a lot of people, or do they know about Roundnet and then they join your league?
I think most people know about Roundnet and then join the league. We've had a couple teams who don't necessarily, I guess, practice probably as often as a lot of other people and all that kind of stuff. But obviously, Roundnet's one of those sports where that you play with better people and you will get better very quick. So I think they definitely, the newer teams kind of learned a lot. It's also kind of hard in the spring just because we don't really work with Denver Parks and Rec too much in the spring. So it's pretty much beginner, intermediate, advanced all in one. So it's been kind of hard to kind of get the most even playing field in the spring. But summer's when Denver Parks and Rec comes in and they do the beginner, intermediate, and everything. So I think summer will be a great chance for the more novice players to kind of get involved and just kind of even just being able to see what the advanced is like. They can kind of then have something to shoot for. So
do you know those people that join the beginner, intermediate through the parks? Are they joining just as part of the parks? Do you get more people in the summer because it's through the parks?
Well, this is we tried doing so we tried doing it last year. I guess for one reason or another, it ended up not working out. Not too many people signed up, so it was pretty much just the advanced league. I'm pretty sure that they've already started to have some teams sign up for the beginner intermediate, so that's pretty awesome, obviously. And then on their sign up page, it says if you're looking for an advanced league, email Rocky Mountain Roundnet. And then I've also had probably at least 4 to 6 teams email me from that asking about the summer league and all that kind of stuff. So once I get back from the trip, I'll probably end up opening up registration and then hopefully starting by mid-July.
Okay, Tommy, I just so before going into this, I went and looked and researched things, and I realized there were just so many things that you got going on in there, and it makes me jealous. I'm sure the people in Denver and Colorado are very, very happy that you put all this stuff together for them.
Yeah, well, I enjoy doing it, man. So I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't enjoy it. Sure. So do something you love, never work a day in your life,
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Well, you just want to. I think but you just do it because you want to play, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I just thoroughly enjoy playing, and I want to get better. So this is an easy way for me to get better.
So that was something I think when I first hosted a tournament. It's I just want to have a tournament. I just want to play in a tournament.
Yeah.
Hosting, it's fun. You get a lot of people doing, but you just want to play. So
yeah, and that's why I've also been really fortunate. I really don't have to do any of the the score recording or anything like that. Usually, we'll find a friend who's just interested in getting to know how the spike ball community kind of operates and everything, and it's always cool about just helping me record scores, and I'll throw them some money from the registration fees as a thank you for helping out and all that kind of stuff. So I know a lot of people would do it and volunteer, but they're taking time out of their day, so I figure why not reward them for it. So
what's been your favorite tournament that you've also one that you've hosted and then one that you've just gone to?
Favorite tournament I went to was probably 2013 to 14 Santa Monica, which was mine and my cousin Mike's first tournament. So
it'd have to be. Oh, it could be 13. No, they started in 14, so it's got to be 14.
So then it'd be 2014.
14,
But yeah, we I feel like Roundnet's one of those things where you play with your group and oh wow, we're really good, and then you go and travel and play in a tournament and you get your butt kicked, and that's exactly what happened, and I think that was kind of like the, the light bulb in my head, like, oh wow, this is definitely something that can, definitely be a legitimate sport. And I, just being competitive all my life, I've always wanted to try and be the best in whatever I do. Unfortunately, in Roundnet, I am definitely not the best, but obviously, practice makes better. So, so I'd say Santa Monica was probably my favorite outside of Colorado. Favorite Colorado tournament would probably be. That's a hard one. I've had 2 tournaments on my birthday. This last one was my birthday tournament, so I'd say that was probably my favorite, just because I was able to play Roundnet on my birthday, which was awesome. Unfortunately, it didn't take first.
Yeah, sad.
I don't think I've taken. I think I've only taken first in one of my tournaments, which kind of sucks.
What was that, 2013?
No, that was that was probably 2015.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of bad when you hate to lose more than you love to win, and I unfortunately don't win a lot. So it's a little frustrating.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I was winning every tournament, then it probably wouldn't be as fun. At least I have something to shoot for, and always trying to get better. So
yeah. That's what you're saying about, like, when you go to your first tournament and you get beat pretty bad. Like, you can have 2 reactions. You can have the reaction where it's like, this sucks. I don't want to be beat. But then you also could have it be like, oh, I can get that better.
Yeah.
Because, like, a lot of times you go to the tournament and a lot of people, especially, you're like, oh, they don't look that good. And then, like, they are.
Yeah.
And it kind of shows you, like, oh, I could probably do that if I just, like, try a little more.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway. Well, that's what I have for you, Tommy. Do you have any more thoughts you want to bring up? Do you want to tell everyone publicly?
No, man. I don't think so.
Nothing.
Not that I can.
Go to the tournaments in Colorado.
Come to Colorado if anybody ever needs a place to stay. We got a whole bunch of cool people in the club who would happily house anybody.
Yeah. The other thing you should have just said, if you need a place to stay, we got tons of hotels that you can get a room at.
Yeah, I'll try and get hotels to sponsor and get some discounted rooms, but. No. But yeah, usually everybody in Colorado is pretty awesome about trying, help everybody come out and try and make the tournaments as awesome as possible. So yeah, if you ever need a place to stay, hit me up and I'll definitely do my best to accommodate you.
Well, thanks for doing this while we're in a van today.
Yeah, no problem.
We're really just killing time. That was it. That's okay. I forgot about a podcast and I'm like, Tommy, let's do it right now. No, that's not what happened. But thanks.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
We're gonna go hang out. Sorry that I just shook the camera. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.